Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the CKC channel. I'm your host, FIDE Master Calvin Klaassen, and welcome to another special edition of Reflections. And yeah, if you are new to the show, we have been interviewing lots and lots of interesting characters in chess with lots of experience and so on. And this evening, we're going all the way to Mozambique with a special guest. Um, Personal friend of mine, very nice guy, and also very dangerous on the chessboard. So I think this is gonna be a fun one, very interesting indeed as well. If you are new as well, don't forget to press the follow button to enable the chat box. Please feel free to ask questions. Don't wait until the last minute. The questions usually flood in close to the end. We will have maybe first 20 to 25 minutes of Dr. Bouah interviewing our special guest, and then we will give some opportunity for the questions in the box. So yeah, that's about it for now. So I guess we can go over to the reflections library. So over to Dr. Bouah and special
Good
guest.
evening.
Welcome.
Good evening, Calvin. Good evening, viewers, and welcome to our November edition of Reflections. And it's unbelievable. We've been busy since the 2nd of September with our show, and we've come to you every week since that time. So really great that we've had a number of people following us. So thanks very much. Tonight we have a special guest from Mozambique. He's a good friend of South Africa. His name is Candidate Master Persson Abrantes. And Persson, welcome to the Reflection Show here on Twitch on the Calvin Klaassen Chess channel. Welcome, Persson.
Uh, Thank you. Good evening, all chess players. Good evening, Calvin. Good evening, Lyndon. It's a pleasure for me to be here on the reflections and talk about chess. You know that I love chess, and I've been in several countries, several continents, and just to play chess and show that in Africa we do have chess.
No, fantastic, Persson. And tonight you're going to tell us a bit about those countries and cities and tournaments that you have played in. So thank you very much. To the viewers out there, I met Persson in Zambia in 2017. I found that Persson also got up very early to eat breakfast because he and I were normally among the early birds to go eat breakfast at the hotel where we were playing the zonals. And Persson, when did it all start for you? How did you learn to play chess?
Well, I learned to play chess when I was, I believe, 12 years old. A little bit late, but in good time. I had some friends that they were playing chess, and I didn't know what was that, but I liked to play checkers on the time, the boards game. I always liked to play boards game. And when I saw that things, those pieces, the knight, the bishop, the architecture of the pieces, the heart on the pieces, and I fell in love with that thing. What they're doing there? I just made that question, and then I realized that they were playing chess. And one of my neighbors, they were playing. They said, that is not for you. And that's like a joking. They say that that's not for you. You not learn this thing. You not understand this thing. This is very hard thing for very important persons. And then said, all right, okay. Then I got this curiosity in me, and I said that I will learn this game. And then I had to ask them one by one what name of that piece, how this piece move, and and I had to learn daily. But I think that took me 1 week because I have to find them playing and then ask one piece, another piece, and meanwhile, I made my own chess board.
Okay.
I draw up a table, and then I took a Coca-Cola lid, a Coca-Cola lid, and then I wrote there, like this is the king, this is the queen, this, and then I differentiate the lips because when it's a black piece, I painted the lips to be the black, and then I taught my brother, my eldest brother, and my older brother, and then what's this game? I said this is chess, and then with the lips, with the Coca-Cola lip. I played and I taught my brother, and I become very strong on chess just like this. I made a lot of mistakes on the beginning, but when I get after that, when I went to my neighbors, I just say to them, look, I can win you on these things. I just get there confident that I will win. They say, I know you don't know how to play this. I say, I know how to play these things. And then they give me a shot, and then they like, oh, take this weak player and then show us. And then I just, on a few moves, I just beat him. Next one, and then I beat again, and I beat again. And just like this, I started on the real chessboard. That's my first game. I started winning. That was fantastic for me.
Now, Persson, it sounds like you were a very fast learner. Tell us about junior chess in Mozambique, and when did you start to play your first tournaments in Mozambique?
Yeah, I remember I just played with my neighbors when I started, my neighbors, and then my colleagues at school. And then someday I was playing with my colleagues from school, and the president of the association passed by, and he saw us playing, and he analyzed our game, and then he showed the potential, and then he invited me to play official tournament, and then I went on my first tournament in 2004, where I get my first trophy. I still have this trophy. It's well kept. So I played. I was 14 years old. I played that tournament, and I win that juvenile and juniors. Was a mixed tournament. Was juvenile. I win that juvenile tournament, and then after that, on the next year, I started to play as a juniors, because we didn't have a lot of juveniles, and then on 27, I just I had small. I stopped a little bit when I was juvenile because of some I said some injustice, because on one tournament, provincial tournament, I was supposed to win that tournament. My opponent was favored by the organization, because look, we were playing chess, and then it was delaying. We played that game for 6 hours.
6 hours.
Then he came and said, I'm tired. Oh, I'm tired. I cannot continue to play anymore. I said, look, you are the one taking a long time thinking. So we didn't have a clock on that time, right?
Okay.
And then he asked the no, I'm tired, I cannot continue. And then they can say, okay, let's ask to write the notes, and then you go home, and then next week you come and continue to play. And then that's happened. But then when he goes on, the organization, there was the seniors players, they were teaching him everything what he should do.
Of course, they were analyzing.
Yeah, it reminds me when it reminds me now, I believe it's when it's when the match from the famous from United States against Russia.
Fischer.
Back on time, the match from I think was Boris Spassky against
Fisher.
Fisher, yes. When Fisher said, I cannot play against him because he has all started removing everything. So was a similar thing. When I get on the board, I said, no. I heard that he was favored by the seniors, and I didn't have a book, nothing on the time. I said, look, he has been instructed everything, and I didn't have been instructed. So that's not fair.
But I'm sure those were good. Those were lessons that you've learned. And what was your first international tournament that you played in representing Mozambique?
So I just want to finish this one. That on 2007, after that, on 2007, I went to the nationals and I win Piva. On juniors national, on my first game, I win Donald Piva. And
sure,
Piva was already,
Yes.
And after that national, on 2007, I went to the first international competition tournament that I have in Malawi. I think it was there where I met Calvin.
Yes, yes, it was. I think it was Calvin and Corno Claver and others that went.
Yes, I meet their Calvin there. So we start our friendship there. So that was my first tournament. And on my first tournament, that was not very good tournament. And was a tournament to forget.
Yes, yes.
Because my travel was very tired. I think we took 2 days. We traveled very bad, but to get to Malawi, and then we took 2 days and was not on good condition. And then when I get there late, and I lost a lot of games. So I went to forget.
So it was a debut to forget on that one. But the important thing is you represented Mozambique in Malawi, and it was your first taste of international competition. So what did you do, Persson, when you got home and you realized that you needed to do some work in order to get to the international level?
Yes, I like it there. That was very nice. I met Calvin. I met the Egyptian grandmaster, Karim. I was talking with him today that he owes me. I remember today, because I was preparing for this show, I remember today that he owes me a training because we fished together on that event. I said that you are too weak. I need to teach you, so I'll be your coach. So someday that. And then today I said to him, look, do you remember someday that you promised me that you will coach me? So now I want that training back.
Yes, you have to collect that training.
Yes, I have to collect the training. So he just laughed. Since 2007, you still remember that? I said, yes, we keep the good things for later.
Persson, when was your first Olympiad that you played for Mozambique?
Yeah, and when I came back, I just started from that time. I said that, look, I don't know chess. I didn't have computer on the time. I didn't have any strong book. And then there I received a lot of books. Then I started to train series, read books, a lot of books. And one of the books is how to build a champion. And then from that time, I played my first Olympiad on 2010. When I got on senior, I started playing seniors tournaments. In 2008, 2009, I just got on the team. I was number 5 on the team. I was juniors, but I was already on the team. And then in 2010, I went to represent Mozambique in Camp Masiske. So wow, when I received the news that I was on team, and then I had to prepare everything to go to Camp Masiske, I said I will lose a lot there.
No.
But I cannot let that things to be the same as happened in Malawi. So I knew that I would lose because I said I will play only against with Russian. On my head, I just said I will play only against with Russian. So Russian are very strong players. Russian, but I didn't have that figure out that on Olympia at Olympia I will have to play against other countries as well.
Of
So I
course,
said,
of course.
yeah, and then when I get there is where the things happens. Yeah, I just say I come to win. I don't want to lose again. Now I want to win.
Yes. And how
So
did you fare in the Olympiad? How did you fare in the Olympiad?
At the Olympiad is that dangerous person where it all starts. So the active person, the very sharp person. I was not very good at endings, but I wanted to kill 32 moves. I had this, yeah, I had this rule: kill on 32 moves. So by this, I just for my first time I played an international master. His rating was 2300 something. And I just said, no, I have to win this one. And you believe on the move 16, the game was just equal, right? And I said, I cannot play equal game with him because we play a Gyoko piano, very logical, very small, smooth game. I said, I cannot play equal with him because he knows he has a lot of experience than me. I was 0 rating without experience. I said, no. I will go with my knight on edge 4 and then to sacrifice there. And then that's what happens. I sacrifice a knight, I open the king side, and I went with my queen. And guess what? He lost on the hand. I was with a queen and 5 pawns, and he had 2 rooks and 4 pawns, but his king was open.
Yes.
Right? He lost in time.
Okay, and was it move 32?
And unfortunately, because we get on the hand game, that was 44 or something like that.
Okay.
But on 32, I said I already have the winning game here because his king was open, and then I just need to go with my king and my pawns, and then my queens, and then I will pass it and I promote and would win.
But that's a wonderful story. Which country was the international master from?
Saudi Arabia.
Ah, good. Yes. But that's a lovely debut that you made there. And how did Mozambique fare in the tournament in 2010 overall?
That was a joy because that was a strong team, and then they expected us all to lose. All my colleagues lost. Paiva lost. All the colleagues lost, and I was board number 3. Wait, no, I was board number 2. Sorry, Paiva was board number. No, yes. I was board number 3, and then all them lost, and then I was the last one standing there. All them lost quickly because they were strong, and then I was last one. And then when I won, the president just was there, and then he almost shouted it, and then I had to come down. And that was very joyful for all the team. So from that moment, the president said that no, we have really champion here. And believe the tournament was the tournament where I get my CM title.
Ah, good.
First tournament, and then I get my CM title.
No, that's lovely stuff, Persson. And after that, how many Olympiads after Kanti Mansiski have you played?
Yes, after Kanti Mansiski, there were another Olympiads, another tournaments. After Kanti Mansiski, I went to, I think it was Istanbul. Istanbul. I went to Istanbul. Then I went also to Norway, to Tromsø, I didn't went to Batum. I didn't went to Baku. I didn't went to Baku, but I went to Batumi in Georgia. So yeah, I believe
You
those.
played five Olympiads. So no, it's fantastic. I mean, to be an Olympian is really fantastic, and to play for Mozambique as well. Were you part of the All African Mozambique team in 2011?
Yes, 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 yes. I
And
was
how did
part
that
of.
go? How was that? Because you had the Egyptians there, Henry Steele was there. I mean, it was a fantastic tournament with so many top players in Mozambique, in Maputo. How did it? How did you play there, Persson?
Yeah, that tournament was good, was very good, very tough. We play as a team, you know. Unfortunately, our coach, he made it strategic for team, you know. We took at least, we put back on the last board. We said at least we should come with medal. We were hosting that event. We actually wanted a medal. So we made
Yes.
some strategies that, and then there were Alice, there were Mukongoma, Miguel, there was also Wilton, and yeah, Wilton, and there is five, and there were me, and there was Pedro Ventura. We were six, and the strategy were on the time to put the weakest one in front on top board.
Okay. Okay.
So I was I played with every steel on board one.
Oh, so you played against Steel on board one. Okay. And
Yes.
how did that go? How did that go?
That goes terrible. I lost terrible. And I have to admit that. But it was very interesting game because I started Aerosteel, and Aerosteel on that time we were famous, right? On that time. We were famous, we were playing very good, very sharp in South Africa. And then Piper said, hey, Persson, this guy is very sharp, he's very is on top of his career. So I said, okay, I will run away from my normal openings, and I will just play Pirk. You know, I said just coming. I played Pirk before, but not that much. And then I said I'll play Pirk because maybe he never saw those things, but he were sharp on Pirk, and then he comes to me and said, I didn't have any option, so he convinced him to win me. But it was
Yes.
a nice game.
Well, look, I mean, Henry Steele arrived in Mozambique after just playing Ivanchuk. He had gone to the World Cup, and he came from the World Cup after playing Ivanchuk on that side. So that is where
Yes.
as well.
And then
Persson,
it was me.
in the Zone 4.3 tournament in Mozambique that was held in 2008, did you play for Mozambique or in that team? Zone 4.3 team championship. It was held at the bank in central Maputo.
No, I didn't. I didn't play this one.
All right,
This,
because that was the first time Calvin and I traveled to Mozambique.
yeah, this one I didn't play this one. I just came, and then I think the strategy on the time was to make because to make more seniors to play, and and then they said, okay, we will only put more seniors to play because they have a lot of experience, and then they just put the seniors there to play. And I was still juniors. I was on the team, but I was number 5. And then they just put to the top. I think was the top. Donaldo played also because he was champion, but they didn't include me on that tournament. And then after
Okay.
that, they realized that no, it was better to have person on the team. That's why on the All African Games, they invited me. Said, "No, you need to be on the team." So
No, no. No, Persson, thanks for that. I've got a few questions but I'm going to end here with 2011, 2012, because that was the time period that we were talking about. And then I'm just going to ask Calvin if there are any questions in the chat room. Persson, so just let us ask Calvin to come back, and if there are any questions from the viewers. Calvin, over to you. Thank you, Joe.
Okay, so interesting stuff there, Persson. So I've got 2 or 3 questions in the chat box. Let's see, where is the first one? First one says, it comes from Boom Shaka. Boom Shaka asks, Persson, who is your favorite chess player?
Okay, my favorite chess player. Sorry for somebody, but I believe Dr. let us know is Alexander Lekin.
Ah, yes. Yes.
I know I like Alexander Lekin because he's a hard worker. He studied chess hard. I believe he started harder than any chess player that we made. Magnus Carlsen now, because when he was a kid he studied a lot, but he on this time he really started hard studied person, and he dedicated a lot to chess. And then his style of play is terrible. It's magnificent. When he played an attack, he didn't move back. Just goes straight to eliminate his opponent. So I like this aggressivity on his style. So he's my favorite chess player.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think he's a lot of people's favorite player. So nice choice over there. Okay, so next question is from Prince Cheeks. Prince Cheeks is asking CM Persson, roughly how many hours do you practice chess per day or per week? So I know it might vary from maybe at the early stages to today, where you have other stuff you have to do as well. But can you give us an idea how many hours per day did you practice, or how many are you doing now, or what's the situation?
Yes, I have to confess, since very earlier, I always studied and played chess. I always studied and played chess, and I didn't quit study, and I didn't quit play chess. I did both things. And I remember that when I went to Olympiad and I come back, I had to do overnight studying because then after 2 days or 3 days, I had some tests to do that I missed and all the things. So I had some strategy that I marked and fixed because I love chess, but I have some things I on the time before I just prepare what I should study, what I should learn, what openings, what strategies I should do. Then I work through it, right? On the time I could work on my study like 4 hours per day, just do it, and I was book logging all these things. Like I was writing it, all the things that I was learned, and then I studied it, and I just keep all these things. That even now, I have my entire preparation just there organized.
Nice.
You know, now I have my entire preparation organized. When I know that okay, I have a tournament to come, so I plan, okay, now I'm going to just review my preparations, my studies that I have during a lot of times, and then I just update it.
Yes.
Update with some new things that Magnus Carlsen is doing, Nakamura is doing there, yes. And then I go to the tournaments. But my secret is not how many hours you do per day. My secret is for you to know your openings, your strategies, and your end games. So if you have all these things, you know your style of the game, and you have all these things prepared, you can start openings, all openings, but you need to have your own opening that you feel comfortable to play. And then anytime, any moment you can play. I used to play on League Chess and chess.com per day. I play, I believe 1 hour per day I play on League Chess or chess.com. I used to vary but on this time. Now when I don't have a lot of work, I do 1 hour per day.
Okay.
But my secret is the same. You just keep it, your training stuff someplace, and then when you're about to go to the tournament, you just take all these things and you review. And then when you need to update it, you just go train again and update it right there. And one of the things that I used to do when I'm about to go to the trainings, I like to review my tactics. I'm very aggressive, and then I like to review my tactics. I can spend a lot of time seeing tactics. I believe that's what Calvin someday said. Person, don't be only tactics, be strategic, be strategic.
Yes.
And because when I'm on the tournament, I like to say a lot of that because the strategy, I have all things done it before.
Okay.
And that's my tip.
All right, thanks, Persson. So, guys, you need to make your notes. The results don't fall out of thin air. You need to make your notes and update it. Thanks, Persson, for nice tips there for the viewers. And let's see, we've got 2 more questions here. One from thanks so far, everybody, for the questions. And we've got a question here from Boom Shaka again. That's Boom Shaka is asking, what is the process to making the Olympiad team in Mozambique? So how do you get to make the Olympiad team for Mozambique? How do you get in there, Persson?
Yes. To make an Olympic team in Mozambique, you need to be on top three. On top three for you to be assured that no one will remove you from that place. You need to be on these seniors. Our seniors level we call A League. So you need to win the provincial tournament. We say provincial championship. You need to go to regional championship. Then you go to B League national championship, and then you go to A League national championship. On this A League national championship, you need to be on the top 5. But if you be on the top 3, no one can remove you. If you top 5, if the federation decides to remove you, if you be position 5 or 4, the federation can remove you. They can put another one that they think that they're the best to fit position. But if you be on the top number 3, is on our book, on our regulation of the federation, that the top 3 players, they are obliged or mandatory, they are part of the team. But the management team, they consider top number 5, and the 6th place, they normally make some tournaments. They make some tournaments of qualification to invite, or the federation can consider, if you see the performance of some player that we found that this one is suitable for that position, and then they put it.
Okay, all right. So top 3 secures you, and then the other 2 spots are still available for discussion by the federation. Okay, thanks, Persson.
Yeah.
And okay, so we've got 2 questions from King Ulster, but I'm gonna take the one and maybe leave the other one for later in the show. So yeah, thanks King Ulster for your questions. So the first one here that I will do is King Ulster asks for Persson. Rook and pawn endgames or pawn endgames? What do you prefer? Rook and pawn endgames or pure pawn endgames?
That was my discussion with Providence.
Okay.
Rook endgames or pawn endgames. And then I said to him, look, from myself, my perspective, pawns are the soul of the games. And then for me, first, you go for pawns, And I love pawn structure. I love King's India. I love to see that pawn structure there. I love the dragons, Sicilians. I love those pawn structures there. That thing takes us to a very nice, nice game, nice position where you can have some hot spots where you can put some piece, and then when you make a structure, you just need to open some columns, and then you can put your rook or your rook there, and hot spots, and then pawn. First, start with the pawns end game. Then you go for rook and game. Rook and game is very, very nice. I believe when I was discussing with the Providence on the time, he was saying the same things. He said the same thing, that the rook and games comes after,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
A rook and pawn come after. First you do the pawn games, and then because the pawn games, when you make when you understand the structure, why you play Sicilian, that c5 pawn when you exchange, or why you play, for example, some Scandinavia, or what happens on that pawn. So you need to understand the logic. Even if you play f4, e5, those spots, how the pawns can sustain. So that's the pawns you need to understand. And then one thing very simple, clear, is you need to understand the battle of the points. I always teach my students about the battle of the points. 3 against 3, 4 points against 4 points, how you can make them pass through.
Yes.
You know, and then those things are very important, even on the real chess game. A lot of grandmasters are losing a game because of battle of the pawns. The kings are far away. The battle of the
all right. Thanks, Persson. Very interesting answers there. So thanks to the viewers as well. Like I said, there's a couple more questions coming in here, but we'll leave it for the end of the show. So yeah, I'm going to take it over to you again, Lyndon. You can continue.
Thank you, Calvin. Persson, we were discussing 2012. You had just gone to Kantiman Sisk, then you went to Turkey, and I see one of the highlights of your career was winning the African Students Championship in 2014. Where was it held, and how did it come about? What were you studying at the time, and tell us a bit about the tournament.
Yes. I was at on that time. I went to university. They were at university in Mozambique. They started national chess championship of university. So there is another federation, another federation of sports at universities. So they invited me to play. I represented my university on the time. And then I won the national, and then I had to go to the African. The African were held in Nairobi, in Kenya. So I flew to Kenya. When I arrived there at Kenya, so the famous one came from Egypt. Came famous from Egypt. Came also some people from Zambia also. Students from Zambians came. I think there were some from South Africa there as well. Not too much. Some from South Africa and some from Algeria. All this white Algeria, Tunisia, they came in. Was not all of African that should all African countries should could attend. Yeah, but I believe we were about 10 or 11 countries that attended it. So the Egyptians were there, and they were the one that always win that tournament. And then there is one GM that plays a lot from Egypt, that plays a lot in South Africa tournaments online. What is his name?
Adam Fauzi.
Adam Fauzi, yes. There's a picture of me, if you see on Facebook, on these articles, there's a picture of me playing against Adam Fauzi, and I was winning on that game. So
Great.
but I win that title was a rapid tournament. I win the medal for rapid. I won the rapid, and then there was Adam Fauzi, and then was another Egyptian, was 2 IMs below me. I just was 1 CM and then 2 IM below me. So on the rapid game, so I succeeded to win that title, and then my entire country, they were very happy about that, and my university was very happy. And after that, I went to the chess Olympiad universities tournament in Russia again. So
yes,
I had to go
yes.
to Russia. Was there where I met all those Russian new boys, Andrei Kin, Sergei Karakin. I just lunched with them because they were university students as well. So we talk a lot, and then I met them there. Those famous Bushian, I met there Bushian, and that was really nice tournament, but was very a strong tournament because and you can imagine Andrei Kin was there, Sergei Karakin was there, Bushian was there. I think Wei Yi also was there, but on the time Wei Yi were so famous, so Bushian was famous for us. So Wei Yi was not so famous, and then I played that tournament. I made some points on the tournament. I think I made six or five and a half, 6 points on that tournament. And that tournament were 14 games, and that was not that bad. So yeah, was nice experience for me. And then for our chess career here in my city, Beira. So we promote a lot of chess because of that title. Even around the government, we get all these distinctions. For the first time, our entire country having that title, that was very pleasant for us all. So for me personally, that was a great achievement. But I still aim to get the African individual.
No, we know that you are going to strive for that, but it's a great story. I mean, going from Beira, going to Nairobi, winning the championship ahead of many of those strong players, and then was it Kazan that you went to in Russia? Was that the city's name?
Yes, was Kazan.
Kazan, yeah.
There. Yeah, was Kazan.
They normally host many of those student Olympiads, but it's great that you were able to just participate and play alongside their Persson. Persson, later on, you started to travel even more. What is the tournament in Zimbabwe that you played against Kasparov, and you nearly beat Kasparov? Please tell the viewers about what happened in that tournament against Kasparov.
Yes, I have to invest on myself on certain time about chess. And then when I started to invest myself, I started to travel around the countries to play with strong tournaments. And then the former president from Zimbabwe, he passed away, were friends of mine. So he invited me to play this tournament. And then I went there, and then this guy called Kasparov. So actually, I think he wrote a lot of books. He is a famous. He wrote a lot of books, and then everyone there looked, this guy will smash us all. On the first game, I think he beat some guy from Zambia. Just squash him quickly, then was off the board. And then next game, he was facing me, and he was facing me. And then those guys become a person tomorrow, you'll be beaten. This guy is a danger. This guy is, and then they even said that he's a cousin of Garry Kasparov. And this guy is terrible. And I said, okay, all right, but this thing is Africa. We will show you something from Africa. So a little bit of Africa. And I found out that he wrote that book from the, he wrote that book talking about, is a Catalan.
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
Catalan book. So on that variation, there's some variation that he allows. He runs away from an attack, something like that, of a rook. And I said, okay, I will make a transposition. So we start the game, and then I transposition until we get that position. And I just, okay, he attacks my rook. And I say, take my rook, you know? I just jump with my knights, my all piece on the attack on each side. I say, take my rook. My friend, he took my rook. All those guys, they were person, and then he just jumped, they relaxed, all the things. Everyone person already lost. Okay. I just put my king size pawns with my bishop, pair of bishops, combinations, bang, 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 knight sitting it well. Hey, suddenly his queen were trapped, but he is a GM. With his queen, he managed to get exchange, and then exchange. So I got pair of bishops on one pawn. I think pair of bishops was 4 pawns, and he just got a rook with 2 pawns. And for me, I just win this game. And then the rook and games came. Hey, and then he outplays me, and then he succeeded to take my pawn. I just was winning. You know, he was just like this. He took his coat out. He took his shirt out. He stayed only with the lower t-shirt inside, with showing arms. All his hair was on the chessboard. He was just like this, throwing out hair on the chessboard, and he was making bad faces. And I just was standing up, looking around, and then he suffered that game. And then at the hands, he got a lucky. I just missed for a narrow, a small, a tiny, those pawns, and yeah, and then he slapped from my fingers. And wow, for me, that game, and then we got to draw position. And then just a great draw, and wow, that was nice. Everyone just was clapping on the tournament. Everyone there in the room just clapping. I remember it, even Andrew Kayonde. He just was there, just, hey, person, that was a great point. You are my friend. You hold him back so I can beat him. And then I draw him, then I beat champion. So those things, and then everyone, hey, and they even pay me lunch for that.
No, that's a great story against Sergei Kasparov.
Yeah, and then for me, that was very important because Susan Polgar, she wrote on her blog about my draw with Sergei Kasparov. So at that moment, so I started being recognized even by Susan Polgar. So I said, hey, so that was really nice for me. They comment a lot during all the week. How can in my rating was very lower. My rating is like because I don't play a lot of tournaments, rated tournaments. My rating was very low. I was like 1990 something 100, and then he was this GM 25, 8 something like that.
Yes.
And then he just drew with somebody from Mozambique.
Well, they don't know that you were the university champion of Africa and of course junior champion of Mozambique. Person, thank you very much. I still have two questions for you, but Calvin, you've got one or two questions still in the chat room because we're getting to 8 o'clock when we're stopping in the show. Calvin, please go ahead with one or two questions.
Okay, guys, I'm just getting to the question that I was last at. Okay, so yeah, I think King Ulster had a second question over here. Yeah. So let's see. So King Ulster has a question here for Persson. And oh yeah, by the way, I love the description that that Persson was giving us here of of that game. Like I mean, the opponent's hair all over the board. I could see that happening. But yeah, King Ulster was asking if there was a variation called the Persson variation. A line in chess, what would it look like?
Nice question,
Boy,
because actually right now, when I went to Cape Town, I meet one man. I think he's your father-in-law.
Lorenzo. You met Lorenzo van die Kerk.
Crazy.
Yes.
And then he started talking about Lila. You
Aha.
know? He started talking about Lila, Alpha Zero. And then he said that you need to combine those things with your actual chess. And then when I get back to Olympiad, I was preparing for Olympiad on that time. But it was Batum, right? It was Batum, yes.
Yeah.
And then I started to say, yeah, Lila has some different ways to play. And then, but Lila plays kind of aggressive, structured attack.
Yes.
And then I decided to start to make one variation that only I know that you can, I know many people play it, but I found Carlson playing it a lot. 1d6, 1d6,
Yeah.
you know, and then against everything 1d3. There's a book against every opening you can play 1d6, and then you can play 1d3, and then also played like this. You know, I was just testing Lila, and Lila was playing like this. And then I saw Magnus Carlsen on the Rio de Janeiro in Brazil tournaments. He was playing, beating Grandmaster with 1d3, 1d6. And then I said, okay, why no 1d6, 2c6, okay? 2c6. For the black, I started to make this structure, okay? And then go and then make g6, and then make those small structure there, and then the pawns, and then make small short castle, and then, so against everything, I could manage this. Now I can manage this. On the lead chess and practice on lead chess. When I went to Olympiad, because I was trying to do this and was fast. You know, Lorenzo gave me that tip, and I wanted to start, but I didn't have a lot of time to consume and to practice that. I think maybe that's why I didn't get good results on the Olympiad. But when I come back now in Mozambique, so I started to practice that, and I'm getting a good results playing even on the internet, even with friends here. And then I already have this for the black sides. I have this 1d6, c6, and this g6 structures. Little bit is not full dragon, but it's still a little bit dragon against everything. And then the bishop there protected, and then we played more with the knights. I like knights.
Yes.
I love those things of the knights. And then for the white side, also is not, will be d3, but I will just close a little bit with this, with g3, d3, g3, and then castle, and then just play. I will try to play e4 right now, because Calvin always told me play for, play for, play for. But then, these small structured there games, I believe I'm getting more solid games on these sites, and the results are very from promising. I remember my game against against the against the former South African champion. This one that we play in Namibia.
Stanley Chumpa.
In Namibia. I beat him in Namibia. He was with Kodere. What is his name? What is his name? Do you remember?
Stanley Chumpa.
No, South African champion. Calvin, you were there in Namibia.
Wait, in Namibia. Oh, you played Donovan van den Heever. I think you beat him. Yes. In the Namibia
I beat
individuals. Okay.
So, yeah, so I remember that my styles of the games comparing with Alekin and all the things. So we're combining. So if I say this is a person opening, will be a little bit like that.
Okay, all right. All right, thanks, Persson. So I just want to squeeze in another question here, but it sounds like it's gonna be like a perk. There's gonna be a Abrantes variation in the perk, it sounds like it. Something like that. Interesting.
I don't like a perk because I lost terrible with Aerosteel.
But anyways, okay. So yeah, a question here from Monster Frick. So Monster Frick is asking, Persson, do you think there are currently sufficient chess development being done in Mozambique to produce more titled players to represent Mozambique internationally?
That question is very interesting because right now on 5th of December, we have the Mozambique Chess Federation election, and then there is this competition. Actually, in Mozambique, we are not doing a lot as I wanted it. As a lot of people wanted it. We are not doing a lot. We should do more. We should do more. But yeah, for producers, strong players, we are not doing more. We are not doing a lot. We should do a lot of kids tournaments. A lot of kids tournaments as you're doing there in South Africa. Because to get one IM, to get one GM, that things took times, and that should be a project of a federation. I know that during the time you can get one. We can get some, but if you want to get with that big quantity, as for example, Egypt, they have a lot of grandmasters, or some people just waiting to make a rating to be a grandmaster, and then we just need to make a lot of this a small tournament for kids, and then those kids should be playing harder, and then they will become easily IM and easily getting more titles, because even on the kids tournament there's a lot of titles that they are giving actually right now.
Okay.
And I believe we should bet more on that, and strength more on the seniors levels.
Okay, all right, thanks, Persson. Persson, can you just move slightly to your left because you're almost out of our, yes, there, that's much better. So yeah, but yeah, thanks for that answer, Persson. And then I think just the last question that I have, if you can just give us a short answer to that one, was, let's see, where am I now? It was a question, yeah, from Skanda. Skanda is asking, who is your favorite Indian chess player?
Wow.
Yeah, no, that question has been popped up. Skanda is, of course, from India, so he's asking, who is your favorite chess player from India?
I just about to say here about the way that I play attacking games. I know that many people doesn't know very well about Anand, but Anand is very strong attacking player, right?
Yes.
During his career, when he were evolving, developing, he were very sharp on his attack. So I like also to read the books about Anand, during his time when he were about to become the world champion. When he became a world champion, he liked to play more solid, something like that. But when he was about to become the world champion, so he was very aggressive. I remember have a lot of games against him and Kramnik and Topalov. He was very aggressive,
Yes.
and then that's why Anand is the one that.
Aha. All right, thanks, Persson. So that's all for the questions. I'll at the end just read the last two statements, but that's all for the questions. Thanks everybody for all the questions. And yeah, Lyndon, do you still have something to ask, or let me just hand over to you one last time?
Persson, two quick questions with short answers. Your favorite city in Africa?
Cape Town.
That is a good response, Persson. Very good response. And Persson,
I owe you. I bring a team of chess players to play on Cape Town teams tournaments.
Yes, we are waiting. We are waiting for you, Persson. Persson,
Yeah.
the last question. Which is your favorite tournament that you have played in? Which one of your many tournaments anywhere in the world? Which one would you choose?
Windwalk, Namibia, African individual.
2014.
Yeah, 2014, right?
Yes.
2014. Where Cordeli, where Daniel Cardo makes some things on my board. So he knocks me on the head. That things I don't forget. But that was a good tournament where I was in shape. If I had one tournament that I would be African champion, that was the tournament. I was very good. I believe I would become an African championship on that tournament. I was that close.
Persson, thank you. Then you were very close, but it went to Kenny Solomon from Cape Town.
But no, that's good. That's very good for me because I when I came to Cape Town, I learned a lot how he became an African champion because it's not about himself alone. It's about the team because it's about the way that you play chess in Cape Town. So that's the thing I need and I want to implement it in Mozambique. That's the thing that makes a champion because Egyptian, they're champion because of the same thing that you have in Cape Town. We have a lot of people, a teamwork effect that's produce a champion. And then I don't have it in my country. So I need to work on that so I can get that with not luck, with the right precision.
No, Persson, thank you very much for those comments. And I've really enjoyed speaking to you. You are very animated and one can see the passion when you are speaking as well. So Persson, from my side, thank you very much for agreeing to be a guest on our show tonight. It's the first time that we are interviewing somebody from Mozambique. So we are very glad and grateful. And congratulations on all your achievements. Thank you, Persson. And I hand you back over to Calvin. Thanks, Persson.
Right. Thanks for to invite me for this event.
All right.
Pleasure.
All right. Thanks, London, again for hosting a lovely event. From my side, I'd also just like to thank you, Persson, for joining us. You've made it a very nice show this evening. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and the viewers also enjoyed it. Just to read the last few comments from the viewers. Boom Shaka says, was lovely listening to your stories, Persson. Had the privilege of meeting him a few years ago. So you know Boom Shaka. I wonder who that is. Such a humble person. He says, she says, such a humble person you are, with a smiley face. Thanks, Boom Shaka. And King Ulster says, thanks, Persson, for the blow-by-blow commentary, like an high-octane action movie. The practical experience shared were detailed and very instructive. Thanks, King Ulster. And King Ulster also says appreciation to the hosts, Lyndon and Calvin, for highlighting the African chess heritage and education again. And then we've got a comment here from Roland Willenberg. Roland says, hi.
Roland.
Hi, Persson. Great to see you on the show. So, yeah, Roland is also watching. Thanks, Roland, for the comment. And yeah, then the last one here is from Monster Frick. Monster Frick says, thank you guys. We enjoy listening to the experiences of a good chess player from another country. Persson, you seem to be a very nice person. Thank you. Cape Town is waiting for you. So yeah. All right.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for the questions and for all the comments and nice words. Once again, thanks to you, Persson. And I must mention that African champs that Persson did so well in Namibia. He actually found myself as well. He was sitting opposite myself at the tournament as well, and he managed to beat me. So Persson was really on fire in that tournament. So yeah. Okay, so now we're at the end of the show. So before we all go, I would just like to ask you, London, who do we have next week? I believe we have someone very special joining us next week. Who is that?
Calvin, a very special guest. He's the player that has won the South African Championship 7 times, and he's been playing for the country for over 40 years. And that is none other than Charles de Villiers, that will be on our show next week on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock.
Fantastic. Wow. So yeah,
fantastic.
If you're talking about history of chess and heritage and so on, I mean, this guy's done it all basically. So I'm excited for that one, guys. So you better tune in for that one. And yeah, if you haven't pressed the follow button yet, if this is the first time on the show, don't forget to press the follow button. That enables the chat. If you were wondering why you cannot type anything in the chat box. So once again, thanks, London. Thanks, Persson. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thanks, Calvin. Thanks, Persson.
See you guys. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Persson. Cheers.